The population climate. Since the Earth is now in a 10-year temperature pause, and even shows signs of cooling depending on which data sources you look at, the climate alarmists are panicking. And so they have moved on to new scaremongering in the form of a population crisis. The use of fear is a well-known tactic by tyrannical governments. Even Michael Crichton, the author of the blockbuster movies Jurassic Park and Twister, knew this when he said, "Social control is best managed through fear." Social control is indeed best managed through fear, and it always works on an ignorant population. Michael Crichton illustrates this in another of his #1 bestsellers called State of Fear, which is a must-read for professional alarmists. And so, like the fake man-made climate change scare, population alarmism is also based on propaganda and junk science. While the carbon dioxide scare is more recent, the population scare goes back farther in time and in a much more insidious manner. For example, Margaret Sanger, founder of Planned Parenthood, fostered eugenics programs in 1939 and beyond. Eugenics has been used throughout history in attempts to control or eliminate targeted populations, commonly called ethnic cleansing. Nazi Germany had a different name. They called it racial hygiene, which they adopted from American literature on eugenics. In fact, studies of their research showed that the Nazis, when proposing their own sterilization program, specifically noted the success of sterilization laws in California. Then in 1969, the year of Woodstock, and peace, and love, and world harmony, the New York Times printed a story which revealed that the United Nations was openly talking about putting sterility drugs in food and water supplies of third world countries, but not the first world countries. More recently, in 1991, Jacques Cousteau made this comment: "World population must be stabilized. And to do that, we must eliminate 350,000 people per day." UNESCO stands for the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. Even today, the United Nations still engages in alarmism about population growth as seen on their website and videos. I don't think the United Nations was invented to control population growth. But nonetheless, in addition to their fake climate crisis propaganda, they are expanding their population growth fearmongering. The best way to fight fear is by examining the data. For example, population growth has been decreasing for the past 100 years. And if you look at the last 70 years, this graph from Oxford University clearly shows that global population growth is declining. Furthermore, they project a continued decline in population growth for many years to come. Why? Japan records its largest natural population decline as births fall. Thailand bids to avert population crisis as birth rate crashes. Why U.S. population growth is collapsing, says The Atlantic. And how come? Because the data shows that as people become more educated and improve their status in life, they feel less need to have more children, especially due to the costs. And thanks to fossil fuel technologies, life on Earth is steadily improving. Food production continues to increase, while death rates continue to decline. Climate change is also contributing to our climatic optimum. History clearly shows that past civilizations flourished during warmer climates, and at the same time, increasing carbon dioxide levels are making the Earth greener, which in turn produces more food. There is no overpopulation crisis. However, underpopulation is a very real problem, especially if we have another mass extinction event. There have been 5 mass extinctions on Earth, and all total, more than 99% of all species have gone extinct. An increasing population is insurance against another mass extinction event. These events have the potential to kill not just millions, but billions of people. The big killers are large asteroid impacts, galactic gamma-ray bursts, solar coronal mass ejection events, super-spreading plagues, and the next glaciation or ice age. The Neanderthals and other life forms went extinct during the last glaciation event. I'm not going into the science behind these events, since there are numerous explanations and videos on the internet. But the best way to prepare for the next mass extinction event is to ensure an adequate surviving population. It's helpful to know that the largest increase in world population occurred because of two things. First, thanks to fossil fuels, mechanized farming dramatically increased food production. Second, the invention of fertilizer further increased food production. So as food became more abundant and cheaper, populations grew. So what do you think happens when a country is suddenly deprived of mechanized farming tools and fertilizer? The crops fail, the economy collapses, and people die. This is happening now in Sri Lanka. Why is Sri Lanka suffering from famine? In Sri Lanka, organic farming went catastrophically wrong. We are going to die. Sri Lanka warns of food shortages. Why is this happening? Because of lies about climate and population. And when acting on lies, results can be tragic. On 29 April 2021, the Sri Lanka president proudly declared they will go total green and stop using fossil fuel-generated fertilizers in addition to ongoing fossil fuel restrictions. The outcome was predictable. And now the world watches. Are we witnessing modern-day eugenics on a national scale? Here is what the Sri Lanka Guardian reported just 5 months after its citizens were forced to go green. No matter what you call it, going green means going hungry. Mother Nature has many ways of controlling life on Earth. She doesn't need our help.